Hey everybody, welcome back to our Smarketing CONNECT podcast. And today I have a really special guest with me, Osvaldo Rodriguez with Owl Hoot Media. Not only is Osvaldo a sales and marketing expert, but he's also one of our Smarketing CONNECT partners. So I'm really happy to have you on here. Osvaldo, thank you very much for being here. Let's jump right in to this and I give people some insights as to who you are and what you do. Let's ask the first question. So give it to us in a sentence or two. Tell us about you and Owl Hoot and what you do.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, for having me on the podcast. My name is Osvaldo Rodriguez. I am with Owl Hoot Media, as I mentioned. What is it that we do? We are a full-fledged digital marketing agency. We do everything from website design to SEO to social media marketing and everything in between.
Oh, that was pretty quick. So you got your elevator pitch down really bad. So tell you have a few more seconds here. So give us an idea of so what prompted this for you? Why did you start Owl Hoot?
So we started Owl Hoot. It actually morphed into a marketing agency. We've always had a passion for marketing, but we started the company to really help that small and medium-sized business leverage the softwares and tools that, up until very recently, Fortune 500 companies have had access to. We're a technology-driven company. We've developed a lot of different software packages for this industry, and really that's what we're here to do, is help these small businesses, learn about the softwares or the services that are out there that are going to help them do better in their marketing. But that's why we did it. It's really to bring those high-priced softwares down to that small business that couldn't originally afford them.
Well, that's a great segue into this next question, actually. So I like to ask about what types of companies, what size, are there particular types of companies that you really enjoy working with, or that this is really designed for, or that should be paying attention to Owl Hoot?
Absolutely. So, this is good for anyone. If you have a business and you're open for business, have a phone number, website, definitely you got to do your marketing. For us, our sweet spot are companies that are small to medium size, 1-2 location type businesses that are looking to essentially, propel that marketing effort on a digital scale. We like working with realtors and restaurants. Those are two verticals that we have a lot of experience with, but we do have, attorneys, we have doctors, we have franchises, franchisors, but our sweet spot is restaurants and realtors. We have a lot of software that really helps those verticals.
So would you say it's more designed or geared toward like a business to consumer kind of environment, or does that not matter either?
It doesn't, but most of our software is business to consumer.
Got it.
It's to engage them, whether it be, through geofence marketing, text message marketing, email marketing, social media marketing. There's a lot of pieces in here that can be very complex if not used together in an automation type format. That's where a lot of businesses kind of, they go crazy. They don't know what to do, and it's because their software is really not, helping them out with that. So we've brought some software to really, help businesses leverage that marketing. Perfect.
So I think this might actually be a no-brainer for us here, knowing all of what you just said over the last 2 or 3 minutes, but can we narrow it down a little bit as to a small business tool that you think every business should have, whether they're business to business or business to consumer, and give us a little insight as to why?
Absolutely. So social media marketing is definitely the tool, and for the main reason is all these social media platforms are free: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the first thing a business owner does is he goes out and sets up all these profiles. Why? Because it's the cheapest way of marketing. It costs him nothing. But it's a problem if you don't give it a heartbeat. You've got a lot of folks that will set up these types of profiles of Facebook, and for the first week or 2 weeks, they're posting to it, and then they go dormant. And then I go to that Facebook page and I see the last time they posted was 6 months ago. That doesn't help you. That actually does more harm than good. So if you're going to have a social media page, You got to have, the right tools to allow you to spend the least amount of time possible, because it is very time consuming. And there's a lot of platforms out there that help with this. We have one, which is our Social Hoot software platform, but there's others like Buffer and Hootsuite and a few others that I don't have the actual names for, but yeah, if you're going to have a social media page, definitely social media software to automate that process. Otherwise, those pages are doing harm and not any good.
Yeah. And just a shameless little plug in here for everybody. We actually use Social Hoot, and it's awesome. So I understand that you didn't want to be, pumping your own product out there, but I figured I'd throw it in for you.
Thank you.
But we love Social Hoot. So, all right. So this question I like, because on the surface level, right, everybody wants to talk about what their primary functionality is. Like for yourself, it's a software or automation, but I always ask this at a deeper level. There's got to be a deeper rooted problem when small business owners bring you in to help them solve their challenges. Can you talk a little bit about why they typically bring you in?
Absolutely. Most of the time, it's frustration in dealing with many different companies, right? Freelancers, a guy that does a website, a guy that does social media marketing, a guy that's doing their SEO. None of them know each other. None of them talk to each other. They're all having a different campaign, pulling in a different direction, and then not showing results. So it can be very expensive, especially if you're not seeing results. When they come to us, one of the main reasons that, again, us being technology-driven company, we've developed a dashboard that essentially allows that merchant to log in and be transparent to everything that we're doing for them. So whether they've hired us to do their SEO, whether they've hired us to build their website, whether they've hired us to do their Google PPC ads or Facebook ads, they can keep their finger on the pulse in real time. They don't have to wait for monthly report from their SEO guy to make a decision on how they're going to move forward the following month. That's really where we kind of, are brought in, is to consolidate. And when we explain this to merchants, it makes total sense, because they're like, my goodness, I have one thing going on, like I said, with the SEO guy, my social media guy is putting out a totally different message. Part of marketing is you want to keep everything very consistent. It will definitely help with organic SEO when things are being replicated and showing everywhere, and things aren't diluted, I guess, in the message portion of it. But that's why we're brought in, is to kind of consolidate and give people a peace of mind by logging into our dashboard and being able to see everything that we are doing for them in real time, 24 hours a day.
It sounds amazing, actually. So you're basically, you're giving them back basically control and time in their day. Because it takes a lot of time to manage all those people. Like, it's not just about, it's not just about revenue or money you're spending. It's also about time that you can't get back. So that's pretty awesome.
That's correct.
That's pretty awesome. So all that said, and say somebody doesn't have you handling all of this, or a client comes to you and says, Osvaldo, you're giving us all these leads, but we would like to get a sales coach in here. In any facet, if they're looking to hire an outside consultant and they ask you your advice, what kinds of things would you tell them to look for, or what kind of questions would you ask them to ask to make sure they're getting the right consultant for them?
Well, if they're, first of all, referrals, right? You gotta, make sure that who you're hiring does what they say they can do. That to me is the biggest thing, is to really vet out that person that you're dealing with. More times than often, I get someone that comes to us with a website. And it's a beautiful website on the front end, right? Design-wise, they took their time. It got designed, awesome. But on the back end, the site is really not performing well. They didn't enhance it. They didn't do the meta tags. It's very slow. It's not mobile optimized. It could be a number of things, and that will hurt the business, because it's like having, a new storefront, but on the back end, you got an old kitchen. So really vetting out someone, right? Whether it's a marketing agency, whether it's a coach that you're using, marketing coach, really just checking those referrals and making sure that they can really provide that service. Because there's a lot of freelancers out there, and not that I am putting down any freelancers. There's a lot of great freelancers, but typically when someone's focused onto that one service and they show you the front end, it's all visual. It looks nice, like buying a new house, and then you come in and 2 months later you realize the furnace is no good and it needs an upgrade, right? That's what happens with sites. I just had an experience with a guy in Connecticut. Paid $3,000 for his website. It looks beautiful. I mean, I was pretty impressed with the design of the site, but when I ran a report on it, it was performance, especially on mobile, where 80% of searches is mobile. So, to pay that kind of money and not get the results, and most of the time it's going to be because people are clicking away, right? It's not really mobile optimized. And in today's world, everything is mobile. So yeah, vet out your customer or your agency that you're going to be working with.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So this is where we can goof off a little bit, right? Have a little bit of fun with this. And, and we ask our guests to tell us if you could be a superhero, who would it be, and tell us why? I love this question, but go for it.
I like this one. Most people say, I'm going to say Superman on steroids.
Superman really needs steroids.
It's Superman on steroids. You gotta get a little more there. It's really our platform. That's our strength, right? And when people log into it for the first time, they're just so impressed with everything that's there at their fingertips, right? They're like, this is just super, right? It's a great platform. So yeah, Superman. That would be my superhero.
You just want to be able to fly. I know.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, right. All right. So I think this is our last real question on the podcast, which is an opportunity for you to kind of pay it forward, give somebody some kudos that you've either worked with before, or somebody that you just think does a really nice job in the sales and marketing world. So is there somebody and they could potentially even be a good guest on this podcast for us too. Is there somebody like that for you that you'd really like to give a shout out to and tell people that they do a great job?
Absolutely. There is a graphic designer that I work with, Everbee Graphics. They're out of Worcester, Massachusetts. This guy, he focuses just on websites. This is the guy you don't need to vet out. Well, you should vet out everyone, but this is the guy that when he builds a website, it's built right, front end, back end. Someone that, I connect with and sometimes get information from him. He's just, it's just someone good to have sites. It's all he does is builds websites. So yeah, Everbee Graphics out of Worcester, Massachusetts.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is basically the end of our podcast, everybody. And what you're seeing in front of us right now is Osvaldo's contact information. This is what's public facing on your website, Osvaldo, but give us there's a minute or about 30 seconds or a minute left in our time here, but is there anything that's not on here that you'd like people to know, that they can either see you, follow you, get an idea of what you're about aside from what's on here?
Absolutely. Everything there is accurate. I appreciate it, Tom. But you can follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Other than that, I think, that's all my contact info.
Pretty awesome. And if you remember nothing else, you're watching this on Smarketing CONNECT's podcast, and Osvaldo is one of our partners. So if you can't find him anywhere, at least reach out to us. We will make sure that you get into contact with Osvaldo if you're looking for him. So thank you very much, Osvaldo. It's been awesome. Really had a good time chatting with you. So appreciate you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it for having me on the show. Thanks.
Bye, everybody. See you next time.